Welcome back to Jack of All Games Tabletop. I'm Dave Wallace, and it's time for another episode of 5 Games. I haven't done this in a while. I've been a little bit busy the last couple months with other list shows, so it's time to get back into it. If you are unfamiliar with it, if you're newer to the channel, 5 Games is where I take a topic, a game style play, a theme, and I just pull 5 games out of my collection to talk about it. They could be old, they could be new. And they're not in any kind of particular order. These are just, 5 games. Could be my favorites, could be my least favorites, whatever it is. So yeah, try to mix it up a little bit. I am always open to suggestions for topics on this. I've had people leave comments in before about the topics for it. And as long as I have games that fit that, then of course I'll be happy to do it. But it doesn't have to be, gameplay. It could be, 5 worker placement games, but it could also be 5 games about the ocean, or 5 games that come in a blue box, or whatever you can come up with. Something, make it interesting, and I'll give it a shot, see if I can do it. I don't have thousands of games. I wish I did, but yeah. So that's how this works here. So, but just before we get into today's 5 games, really quick, let's try and give away another board game. Take it away, me.
All right, what's up, guys? Time to do another board game giveaway. This one is Red Rising. I actually have 2 copies of this to give away still in this quarter. This will be the first one. I'm going to get my number drawing app from the comments. It is, where is it at there? Number 5. So let me go over here. Oh, that's not working. That's not good. Hang on one second. Okay, so I'm just going to have to toss in a video from my phone of my screen because my screen record is not working. But winner is Matt Sergi. Matt, thanks for watching. Thanks for being around. Thanks for entering this. And you deserve a game. So Red Rising, this is a really cool game, by the way. I'm gonna get that out. If you don't know what's going on, if you're watching this and saying what's up, started a contest about a little over a month ago, and still have about a month to go for one more game still to give away. And then beginning of April, I'll be doing a whole new video with new games to give away for the second quarter. So if you want a chance to win a copy of Red Rising still, you still have one more to go over the next month. Just go over onto, I think about a month back on my channel to the video that says free board game giveaway. And then all you got to do is subscribe and comment on it. One word, I don't care. That's it. That's all you got to do. Really easy. And, as long as you're subscribed, you'll be eligible for the next quarter when I picked games to give away for the next quarter. A new video you'll have to comment on. But anyway, sorry to interrupt. Get back to it. Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you, me. All right, so today's topic is going to be 5 dice-chucking 1 versus 1 battle games. These games that you can settle nerd disputes by sitting down with a friend and just basically the main objective is to kill each other. Sometimes there are a couple little other objectives, but it's not really about all the different types of gameplay. It's mostly about slapping the crap out of your friend. So let's get started with probably the oldest one in my collection.
5. Abaddon. Toy Vault Incorporated. 2012.
Yeah, Abaddon by Toy Vault. So this is a tactical combat game fought with mechs. So think of BattleTech, only this is much easier, much simpler version of BattleTech on a much smaller board, actually. Real simple, but it does have about 16 different starting missions, although for a game like this, it would not be difficult to just kind of set up your own combat system to fight. But basically, you have two teams that come with the box. They are very symmetrical. I mean, they are the exact same models on either side. As you see in videos, I painted mine some time ago. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, there's not really any, a whole lot of variety. Each side has 4 different types of units that you get to use. And basically the way it works is on your turn, you'll get to roll specialized dice that will let you know which units you can operate on that turn. You'll get to move up to your specific range for that mech and then make an attack. The mechs have each different ranges and different attack abilities. And along with those attacks, they each have a different type of die that you get to roll for your attack. You got D10s, D8s, and D6s. And you also get to use cards that get added to your hand. Some of them have an immediate action, and others are just basically a boost or a bonus to your attack, which you lay face down until it's time for both sides to reveal. The defender, it's not actually defending, it's actually more of a counterattack, because basically when you reveal, you roll your dice both sides and then reveal your cards, and that is going to tell you, whoever has the highest wins. And the other side takes the damage. So when you lose and you take damage, you're basically going to remove one of these little power crystals. And the bases have these little slots for these little tokens that go in. Each mech has, a different amount of power crystals that they can use, and you basically remove one until all of your power crystals on that mech are gone, and then that mech is trashed. So some of the missions will only say, once you beat 2 of the mechs, then that's the end of the game. So there's actually quite a few options when it comes to the missions. There is some very basic terrain that's added as well. Little supposedly cities and villages and forests. Real simple cross-section cardboard pieces. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing super complicated, and it's not like the coolest game ever, but it's pretty fun. No problem with sitting down with a friend and kind of hashing it out with this. So yeah, this one, I actually got this from a friend about 3 years ago, and I think I painted the mechs like 2 years ago, but I actually had not played it. It sat on my shelf of shame until about 2 weeks ago when I knew I was going to be making this video and said, shit, I should probably play it if I'm going to talk about it. So I played it, and yeah, it's really cool. I would play it again. It's not going to be, one that makes it to the table a lot, but then again, for a lot of people, I don't even know how easy to define this, to be honest, because I mean, it is a 2012 game. So, but if you happen to come across it, yeah, it's pretty cool. I dig it. Okay, so on to the next one.
Number 4, Marvel Dice Throne, Black Widow versus Doctor Strange, the OP Games 2022.
So yeah, Dice Throne has been very popular over the last few years. Really cool. Mine is Marvel, but it is not limited to Marvel. They have other IPs. They have a bunch of different fantasy characters. They even have holiday themed. You can play Santa Claus versus Krampus. And then on top of that, it's all mix and match as well. These are separate little packages inside. Let me pull this out real quick. So yeah, like this one box here is just Black Widow, and that's a way that you can mix and match from the different games. You can play Black Widow against Santa Claus if that's what you want to do. This can be played with up to 6 people supposedly, but yeah, I mean, they come usually packaged in 2 characters at once, so that straight out of the box you and a friend can fight. You can get some that have more, but most of the time it comes as 2 different players and different skill levels. Sometimes you can check that. Not necessary, but you can try to compare that as well. So yeah, with Dice Throne, you're going to lay out a character board that comes with your character, and the character board has different attacks on it. This is going to be a Yahtzee-styled dice rolling game. You're going to try and get different dice combinations in order for different moves, as well as your defense. You also have tokens, which some get unleashed as an additional power when you make one of your special attacks. And on top of that, you do have cards that can add to things. You have a certain amount of cards in your hand, and when you play a card, you have to spend what's called combat points, which you can earn in other ways. and spend them on playing cards. Some of those cards will have immediate effects, and some of them will actually be an upgrade to the abilities that are on your player board. So lay it down, and now your small straight does 7 damage instead of 5. So really cool way to upgrade things there. So yeah, on your turn, you're going to roll all of your dice, as many as you want, up to 3 times, to try and get the score that you're looking for what available actions there are to you. And basically, there's no hidden objectives here. There's no, other things that you need to try and accomplish other than kill your opponent. They have a little dial for your hit points. I think most of the time you start off with 50, and basically take your friend down to 0 and you win. So yeah, this is very fun and just very expansive. So many ways that you can play it, different characters. Matter of fact, the Doctor Strange character is a little bit different because most of his cards don't actually upgrade the abilities as much as he has a spell book with different powers that can be unleashed. So yeah, this one, if you're getting into Dice Throne, Doctor Strange might be a odd one to start with. But yeah, overall, I mean, like I said, this is really fun, real simple, just kill your friend, figuratively. All right, so from superheroes to spaceships, let's see what's next.
Number 3, Star Trek Alliance, Dominion War Campaign, WizKids 2021.
Yeah, Star Trek Alliance. This is a very cool game by WizKids. So if you are familiar with Star Wars X-Wing, it's pretty much kind of the same thing, although I have to say this one is actually a little bit more in-depth, got a little bit more detail, which I think is really cool. Captains come more into play with this, and you can get cards that help out with other crew members and other abilities for your ships. Very cool game. I got this from Steve at Da Vinci's DreamWorks, my local game store that I usually go to, and I especially got it because Steve is a designer for Star Trek Alliance. Not this one in particular. I got this one in particular because, number one, it was all-inclusive, and number two, because this has solo play. You can actually you have AI for your enemy ships, and so I thought that was really cool. Just a chance for me to mess around at home with it. So yeah, very cool game. I've been enjoying this one a lot. Star Trek Alliance is much like X-Wing. You basically are going to be playing in phases. You start off with a planning phase in which you use this little dial to secretly decide what kind of maneuver you're going to make. Put the dials face down, and then when you reveal, each ship operates in order, descending order of captain's strength. You are going to use templates to move the ship the way that you chose on the dial. And then at the end of that turn, you can also do an action, which there's different variety of things you can do. You can go to battle stations, you can make a target lock, things like that nature. Then the final phase is the combat phase, in which you make your attacks for those who are in range. This is, of course, when you bust out the dice. You got your attacker, you have the red hit dice, which have hits and critical hits and the battle stations symbol. And for the defense, you have the green dice, which have the evasion as well as the battle station symbol. So if you chose battle stations as an action at the end of the movement phase, then that turns into either hits or further evasion. And the ships also have shields on them, which are just a token that get flipped over, and they come back online on the next round. So you want to make sure that you hit the ships with plenty of attacks, so that way you can get to the hull and start doing damage to the hull, which is permanent. So yeah, basically that's the way the game works. There are objectives and different missions, and this game is much bigger than just this one I have. You can get, you can buy just, one fleet of ships. You can go to tournaments that involve this game. It's a pretty decent sized game, so definitely a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this one. Like I said, with the solo play, I get to play this one a lot, so very cool. But yeah, I could see getting a little bit more into this one with some other people. So if you like, spaceship battles. And, I do have to admit, I was always Star Wars first. I mean, that was just my first love in sci-fi. But that being said, when it comes to Trek Wars, I go both ways. Yeah. Plus, Wrath of Khan, one of the greatest movies ever made. So, anyway, if you like Star Wars or Star Trek or just spaceship battles in general, check out Star Trek Alliance. All right, up next.
Number 2, Zone Wars, Mutant Year Zero, Free League Publishing, 2023.
Yeah, so from sci-fi to post-apocalyptic, Zone Wars, very cool game. I didn't know anything about this game, and actually a buddy gave it to me. So this box comes with 2 different groups of units to fight each other. You got human mutation and animal mutation. And this works the way, a lot of these little combat games work, where basically you have a certain amount of movement, and then your attack, ranged attacks or melee attacks. The characters in here are definitely interesting. In my videos, you'll see there the map that comes with it. It's actually folded in half because I couldn't fit it on this particular table. I usually have to use my big dining room table to play it. So it's really decent sized map, although you don't necessarily have to use that one. It also has some really nice terrain to it. It's all cardboard and it slots together of the kind of ruined buildings and stuff, but very nice looking. So yeah, each character comes with their starting equipment, and basically when you make your attack, you're going to roll your dice to see if you hit, and then of course your opponent rolls to see if they evade. Same sort of thing as most of these combat games. You can also come across different artifacts which you can use to upgrade the weapons you have, or even fashion new weapons out of them. And then I think one of the things that's really cool about this game, and maybe sets it apart a little bit, is these zone effects. Because you are playing in this post-apocalyptic scene, every round you're going to flip over a zone card, which can have different effects to, say, the weather or the terrain. You could end up with really thick, toxic fog that rolls in, and that is going to limit your range ability. Or you could get some acid rain, different stuff like that happens. So, yeah. Really cool game. Now this one does have an expansion, which is Robots and Psionics. This is 2 more sets of miniatures, 2 more teams basically. As you can see, this one is still wrapped. That's because I just started playing the Zone Wars, and want to get into it a little bit more before you even try to look at the expansion. So, but that being said, yeah, there's even more stuff that you can get with it. Pretty fun game. Again, when it comes to these type of games, it's pretty much how they work. There's not really a whole lot there that's new, but if you like the theme, the post-apocalyptic idea, it's definitely a really cool, fun game, so check it out. Okay, I know I said these aren't in any particular order. However, the last one is one of my favorites that I've been playing a lot lately, and it's actually probably one of the easiest of all of these. Smallest as well, but definitely a lot of fun to me. And on top of that, it's got the theme of the Norse gods.
Number 1, Battle of Gods, Mood Publishing, 2023.
One of the cool things about this is not only Mood Publishing, but it's also Grim Frost. Now, if you're into anything Nordic themed, Viking themed, then you probably follow that kind of stuff on social media, and you've probably heard of Grim Frost. They make a lot of Viking and Nordic themed t-shirts, but also things, replica weapons and that sort of thing, tools of the Viking trade. And of course they help put out a game. It's all about the Norse gods battling each other. So yeah, this is a super cool game. This is basically a much smaller board, which you're going to be playing on. And much like Dice Throne, this is going to be, Yahtzee style as far as the different types of attacks that your miniatures can make, your god can make. Now, this one comes with 4 gods. However, I do have the expansions for 2 others. But yeah, each one is unique. They've got their own different types of attacks. And even if your Yahtzee rolls don't match up with their specific abilities, the dice all have different abilities or things that they can get added to, like your movement is on there, gaining a health point is on there, or even taking a single attack to an adjacent opponent. Now, like I said, the board for this is much smaller, and actually if you're playing this 2-player, then the outer rim is actually off limits, so it makes the board even that much cozier. There's a couple of interesting marks on the board. You have the blue markings on there is teleportation. You can instantly move from one spot to the other on the board. And the purple is for the, they say faith dice. It ought to be fate die, really, but basically, it's a single die that will offer you some extra bonuses if you land on that. However, there is, of course, a chance that you could actually lose some health from it. The main point of this game is to gain victory points or to knock your opponent all the way down to 0 on their health track. And the health track does have some of the victory points on there. You can gain them in other ways as well, as much as like just rolling the dice. You can roll 2 halves of the victory points, and that can gain you one. But while there are ways that you can lose victory points besides being attacked, if you are attacked and your health track goes down enough to remove one of your victory points, it actually goes right to your opponent. So if they're trying to just win quickly by gaining victory points, then you're not really going to want to give those up if you can help it. I do like the fact that there's different kind of tiles that come, because each character has its own special attacks. There are also cards that come into play. You can draw a card in your hand with specific dice rolls, and those cards can either be an immediate action, or they can get tucked under the end of the board and boost up the advantages that you get from your specialized Yahtzee attacks. Yeah, like I said, basic ways to win that one are either drop them down to 0 or get 10 victory points. So it goes pretty quick, and there's not a whole lot to it, but I think that kind of makes it good for these kind of games. If you don't want to spend all night playing it, if you don't want to set up for a 6-hour game, you just feel like fighting your friend for 45 minutes, this is a perfect way to do it. Miniatures look really cool on this. They're nice and big, chunky miniatures of the gods. Like I said, super simple, but very, very fun. I definitely dig this game. Play this one all the time, so highly recommended. So yeah, there you go. There's 5 games now in this style. There's tons more out there. I'd be curious to know what your favorites are and why. Of course, we could say something like Warhammer, which, technically does fit in this. It's just far more extensive, and I'm thinking more board game style. So what do you got? What are your favorite combat kind of games where it's something simple like one-on-one? Some of these games do have the ability to add more than just one-on-one. Some of them can be 2. I don't necessarily think it always works great for some of them. I think most of these games, the best way to play them is one-on-one, but that's just an opinion. So I'd like to know what you think, what your favorite combat dice chuckers are, and why you think that those ones are the best. So let me know, put it down in the comments, and yeah, love to hear about it. All right, that's going to be it. Until next time, get out there and chuck some dice. Hey gamers, thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate all the support. It's one of the things I know that I can count on with the gaming community at large. This is, of course, to the point where I got to ask you to like it, hit that subscribe button, and maybe share this with a friend. If you are a game designer, or maybe starting your own gaming company, and you want to do a little bit of cross promotion, maybe you got a prototype that you want me to check out and talk about on the show, definitely let me know. And of course, for all questions, suggestions, and corrections, there's all kinds of ways to get a hold of me. Probably the easiest one is just comment below. You can also send me an email at jackofallgamestt@gmail.com. The T stands for tabletop. And if you'd like to take a look at my commissioned miniature paint jobs, or even some of the other stuff in my life like photography or tattooing, which is what I do for my day job, go check it out on Instagram at Art of Wallace. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next episode.